Church Street, right in the heart of Shrewsbury town. It's surrounded by great little shops, old historic buildings, cobbled streets, and of course, a haunted hotel. The name comes from Prince Rupert, the grandson of King James I, who stayed in this hotel when he visited Shrewsbury in an effort to raise troops for the royalist cause. And the town itself has a long-held reputation of being one of the most haunted places in Great Britain. The hotel today is owned by Mike Matthews, who agreed to show me around.
This is the oldest part of the hotel. The hotel is made up of a number of buildings ranging from the 18th century all the way through to the 12th century. Where we are now is in the oldest secular building of Shrewsbury.
So this is 12th century?
1150, it's actually been dated back to.
That's old, isn't it? There must
Very
be
old.
so much
Absolutely.
history. And what was it used as then?
A private residence many centuries ago. And we took the building on in 1997 and joined it to the hotel to form 5 suites.
So there must be a lot of stories and hauntings in this bit.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to take you now into the Prince Rupert Lounge, which is where I had my experience when I first came to the hotel in 1996.
And what was this room originally used as?
It is said that Prince Rupert actually lived here between 1641 and 1644, and he was the grandson of King Charles I. And it is said that this would have been his lounge, his living quarters.
So what was your experience?
Well, let's take you back to 1996, and the hotel was full. We just moved into the hotel with my family, and we were living in bedrooms at the time, and because the hotel was at 100% occupancy, I moved into here with 2 camp beds with my nephew, who was working here at the time, called Dominic. Early hours of the morning, at around about 2 in the morning, we said, let's call it a night and go to bed. We came up here, sat on the beds, discussed how the evening had gone. I said, let's have a drink before we go to bed. We popped downstairs to the bar, bearing in mind that there was only the night porter on duty who was busy at the time. When we came back, literally 60 seconds later, our pillows had vanished. And we searched the room, there's nothing here at all. We then spent a good 30, 40 minutes trying to find them. I was determined to find them, to find the culprit who had taken them. And I actually found them in the lift, which is around about 60 yards away from this room. Over the years, I've got used to certain occurrences happening, and it might well be that I put something down in the office and I come back minutes later and it's gone. And look, you know, this is 11 o'clock at night, there's nobody else around. But you know, you live the building and you start to understand the building, and after a period of time, you accept it. That's just the way it is here. I'm going to show you another of our rooms now, called the Prince Rupert Suite.
Is this where he would have slept?
We rather suspect it would have been, yes.
Oh, it's a great bedroom. So what's happened in here?
There have been several sightings of a depression on the bed, very much as though somebody had actually sat down on the bed itself and left the image of an individual sitting there.
What, while somebody's in the bed?
People have been sitting in the bed, waking up in the morning, or about to go to sleep, and actually seen the same image in the same area of the bed as well.
And does that frighten guests?
Sometimes. Not usually, though, because they can't relate it to the experience itself. When I've heard it several times and I start to understand what's going on inside the building.
Any other stories in here?
Yes, we had a reporter from a newspaper locally who was actually staying the night to actually find spirits. And he took a photograph of the room. When the photograph was developed, this mirror was on the right-hand side of the photograph and had an image in it reflected from the room, which nobody could really explain. And despite people having a look at the negative and looking at the image several times, they couldn't work out what the image was. I was extremely skeptical about ghosts and spirits before I came here. Probably a non-believer in a 100% way. How do I feel now? Completely different. I've now got a total open mind. But it doesn't concern me. I'm not worried about it. I don't have any fear of the matter at all. What I do know is that you can actually work in conjunction with the spirits as opposed to against them.
Is this part of the building really old as well?
Yes, it is. We're into the 15th century part now, where our Tudor suites are. And I'm going to take you into the Prince Philip suite, which has had a number of sightings over the years. For a number of years when we first came here, the same sighting of people waking up in the middle of the night and actually seeing a lady hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, my goodness, that is horrible. What, an actual apparition?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Rather oddly, it hasn't been seen for a number of years, but for a good 5 years when we first came here, it was, I wouldn't say every night, but certainly 2 or 3 times a month it would happen.
Have you yourself seen it?
I haven't. I wouldn't actually stay in this room. I've heard the stories so many times that it's the only room in the hotel that I actually won't stay in.
Do you know who that might have been?
As far as we know, it's a maid that actually lived in the house when it was a private household, who lived in this room and was jilted by her lover. And she was so distressed and so upset that she took her own life.
Shrewsbury's official town crier, Martin Wood, is also an authority on its ghosts, and he agreed to show me down to the hotel's cellars.
What you're actually going down now is you're actually going down a flight of steps which was here in the 12th century and actually part of the original town walls of Shrewsbury.
So this obviously goes down into the cellar.
This goes down into the cellar, on your head.
Cellars so often have good stories.
Oh, this one really is wonderful.
Gee, I've never seen such a tidy cellar.
It is, it's good, isn't it?
This is
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, we have some very, very tidy and clean ghosts around here, I must admit. One of them we have a young Tudor lad called Thomas, and he appears around this area here. The other side of this wall is a pond, and that's where he was drowned. And he will appear in here, or people will sense him, that he's actually around. We had one young lady once down here, and he actually held her hand. And for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, he actually led her all the way back through the hotel, back to where the pond used to be, to actually show her where he'd actually drowned. And so he just took her all the way through.
So did the lady actually see the apparition, or just
Didn't
feel
see
herself
him.
being led?
Just felt herself being led through the hotel. And she said, you know, somebody has got hold of my hand. And when I said, well, clench your fist, and she couldn't because there was another hand in it, and she could actually feel the hand in her hand.
How do most people feel when they come down here?
They feel spooked. I mean, a lot of people, when they start coming down and they start on the tour, it's also, oh, great, you know, this is going to be a real laugh and all the rest. But as they get into it, then they start sort of changing slightly. And then by the time they get down here, and obviously with the doors and everything else all creaking as you open them, it's sort of, oh, well, you know, are we in the right place? You know, should we go here? I've had a lot of people that have come down, and as soon as they've got down here, they say they've got to get out, and it's turned around and sort of disappeared. This is a scene of a gentleman who, he's not very happy with me, and I don't particularly like him sometimes, but for some unknown reason, he doesn't like me around.
How do you know that?
Well, generally, he sort of comes along, you see, and he sort of tends to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like him very much. But what, you can actually see him do that?
Oh, you can actually feel it.
You just feel as if someone's clasping your neck?
Yeah, you just actually feel it. I mean, we had a lady on one of the tours a couple of years ago who was standing at the top of the stairs where we came through, and she got a green necklace around her neck, and she suddenly screamed, and as she screamed, this necklace fell to the floor. And she said that she could actually feel somebody's hands behind her neck unscrewing the necklace, and it just felt, I mean, she took off like a rocket sort of thing, and that was it, you know, she'd gone for the rest of the night. But, you know, it's things like that actually happen in here. And I mean, even now when I'm talking to you now, it's feeling very, very close in here. And I can feel that he's around me.
Really?
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's in here?
Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah, he's in.
Should we get out before he puts his...
Yeah, be a good idea. Do you want to go first? I think that Prince Rupert is extremely haunted. We've got maybe 10, 12 active sightings of ghosts within the hotel itself. Why they're here? Because the building itself goes back such a long way. And we think so many things have happened throughout the centuries here that it's obviously something that's just stayed within the building itself, and these characters have stayed here.
Bear in mind that the hotel has 900 years of history, and you know, if you look at that period of time, many occurrences would have happened, from rapes, deaths, murders, but I think it goes beyond that. I feel that the building has a history to tell in terms of a mood. Imagine the walls absorbed memories, and those memories I've been able to unpick and, if you like, let out a little bit. I think there's a sadness in the building. I don't mean a sadness in terms of somebody has died that was very close to somebody. I think there's almost a passionate sadness in the hotel, where there's been a lot of love, and perhaps that person couldn't get the person that she actually wanted or he wanted. And as a result, the building has been trapped in this loveless passion, if you like, which often comes out in the mood and the feeling of the property.
Well, guess where I'm spending the night? The most haunted room in the hotel, the Prince Philip suite, the one where people have seen the apparition of a lady hanging from the beams. I think that is the most disturbing, chilling image, so I've decided not to go to sleep tonight. Instead, I'm going to read with the light on. See you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, come on.
A story of misguided loyalty and unrequited love. It's one of the greatest Merchant Ivory movies of all. The Remains of the Day, starring Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson, tomorrow at 10. Next, more great British ghosts.